Hey guys, so we have been automating this test case, which is validate header links, and we did this test case halfway till last video, and we have been taking the test cases from this portal. Let me just go back to test cases again. So I am trying to automate test case number 3, which is navigate to URL and check headers. Has links like hamburger menu, cart, try, prime, accounts and list, all those things, the links which actually are appearing in the header section. So this includes this link, all these links. So we'll try to write as many as possible. So till last video, what I did, I added these 3 links, and for this I am right now adding a if conditions for all of these. So once all the argument which is coming here goes inside the step definition, and everything will be collected as inside this list here, then I'm just checking if list contains a hamburger menu, then put a validation for hamburger menu is displayed. If it is for different link than this. So this is how basically I am right now creating my test cases, or basically these validation methods. This is not the only way by which I can do it. I can of course make this more generic, but I'm not trying to do it as of now. I'm trying to make separate methods for each links. I can also create a simple method which will take this links as an argument, and that way also I can do. But maybe that is something for later. For now, I'll just make these various methods, validation methods, to validate these links here, which is appearing in the header section. So to do that, I need to first add all of these links, which is coming here. I have to add all of these inside my page object class file, which is named as common page objects. So I added these 2, but I have to add more. So I'll do that quickly. So I will just go and inspect the Amazon site, and I will not try to add all of these because it will be time consuming. So I will add few more. So I've already added 2, 3, and now I will go and add maybe this cart. Its ID is nav cart. So I'll use this and nav ID, nav cart ID, and add it here, right? So let me just first collect it. This is for nav cart. This is for its ID is navigation link prime. So that also I'll take. Then maybe returns and orders, right? So navigation orders. I'm just saving it, and then I'll structure it. Perhaps this maybe accounts and list as well. Accounts and list. I will need to check whether accounts and list is displayed here. So maybe this is what I will use: nav link accounts list. Right. So yeah. So maybe these 4 I will do. So hamburger menu 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and maybe the search as well 7. Right. So these 5 I will try to validate whether they are coming or not. So for this I need to do something like this. So let me just quickly do it. This will be my navigation link prime. Okay, then is something wrong? Let me see. Okay, then let me copy paste it again and again so that I can just copy paste and replace the values. Copy, replace the value, copy, replace the value. Nav cart. Right, so now I have these variables set up here. This is for prime, this was for cart, this is for prime, this is for nav link for orders, nav link for account. And by the way, these links are going to be used later because we are going to perform operations on these links, whether to see whether these links are working correct or not. So anyway, we would need to add these links later. So it's better we add it now. So now we have these links added. So let me rename it to nav link cart, and let me rename this to nav link logo. This will give me an error because I'm using it somewhere down. Yeah, so I will remove this as well. Yeah. Okay, so let me go back. So we are here. So here we are trying to check whether all these links are coming or not. So we are going to put some text here. so that at runtime people can decide what needs to be checked or what not need to be checked, or maybe the person who is reading it will have some understanding about what is being validated in this step. So hamburger menu, Amazon Prime logo, accounts and list link. What else? I'm also checking returns and orders link, isn't it? So returns and orders link is I'm checking. Then I'm checking your Prime link. So this also I'll write here. Then I'm also checking the cart link. So these many things I'm checking, and I will have to make sure that these things are validated as well here. So now, as I said in the beginning, we have multiple ways of doing this. So either we can keep on creating these if conditions and these separate methods. So in that case, we will have a lot of methods present inside our page object model files, right? A lot of methods will be present here, because for each of these elements, I will have to create a method called as validate that link. Or I could do something so that I could create a, or make it more reusable. So what I can do, I can make it create a single method. I will name it as public void validate link or validate element present in header, right? And what I can do is I can put a text here, and based on text I can put a switch condition. So I can write here switch. Right now I'm telling you just a logic on, like, there are various logic, as I said, there are various logic to do it. One logic will be straightforward logic would be to create separate methods for each, which is again is not a very bad thing, but of course there is something better which we can do apart from doing this. So instead of creating so many methods, because the more methods you have, the more maintainability, code maintainability logic you have to write, it's better if we could merge these things into a single method, and then same method we can use across to validate different elements. So that is what I'm trying to do right now. Now this is your text. Now text, maybe we can say I want to say convert it to lowercase, and I want to trim it as well. So that I will write here. Then case is that case is, I have to place it here. So case would be something like this. If it is a hamburger menu, then what I'll do, I will write the logic here. Then the logic will go like this, break, right? And this also I don't have to repeat again and again, because this anyway is going to be called. So this is a break. Then there is case Amazon Prime logo. If this method is called with this, so this method is what we're going to call again and again for various text. If it is called for hamburger menu, then this line will be executed. If it is called with the Amazon Prime logo, then next line will be getting executed. So this is what I'm trying to do right now. Okay, so if this is called by the validate element present in header section, right? And this boolean also we will place at the top, so that we don't have to declare it again and again and again. So let me remove this as well, B, and this every time we change the name here, we need to change the text, change the element. So right now it's Amazon Prime logo. So for Amazon Prime logo, we'll call this method logo, the logo method, right? And that's how we are going to create all the text here, all the cases for subsequent links. So that is what I'm going to do. Let me do this quickly without recording it, otherwise too much recording time it will consume. Yeah, so see guys, I have completed this method. So see what I've done. I'll try to give you a code walkthrough. So this is the method which is validate element present in header section. I'm going to pass a text to it. Text could be what I'm trying to pass from here, right? This is a text which I'm trying to pass, and this will come inside the method when I call this specific method. And then I'm putting boolean as false, and then a switch condition. So let me put indentation here, right? So if hamburger menu is coming, then it will just say validate element is displayed hamburger menu link. So every time different link I'm passing, different text I'm passing, I'm going to validate different links. So I think this is a mistake I made here. Accounts and link list. So let me change account and list. This is the one. So I will replace it with accounts and list. So if account and list is passed, it will just validate whether account list is coming. If for orders, let me say for orders, it will come here. For Prime, it will come here. For cart link, it will come here, right? Then I have also added a default case here. Default is if you are calling this method with the text which is for which case is not present, then it will just fail it. For failing, I have put three things here. One is I will log it in the loggers, log4j log. Then I will also write this in the report which will get generated by which would be an HTML report. And I am also throwing an exception, right? Now, if this is not, let's say what you're sending is Amazon Prime link, and let's say the condition is false, right, or true, whatever it is. So it will just validate. It will just it will just return the value as Boolean as false, and then here I'll check if it is Boolean, which is false. Then again I'm writing this that this is not displayed, and I am writing assert.fail. That means it will log a failure in the report, and if it is a true, then it will just log it and it will just pass the test, pass this method, right? So this is what currently, this is the method which would be called again and again. So basically this is what I'm trying to do by doing this, is to tell you how a logic is returned, or sorry, a logic is written for this validation of multiple things in a header. Or this scenario can also occur when you want to validate something. There are some different links in a specific area or section of the application. So this kind of logic you can apply there. Now this method is what I have to call again and again, right, for different links. So this logic, the logic of looping or calling this method again and again, will go inside our step definition file. So let me tell you that now. So because we are passing these many values from a feature file, so all these values are going to be captured inside this list, right? And I was initially writing multiple if conditions, which is again too many lines of code, which can be avoided by looping it, right? So what I'll do now is I'm going to, instead of writing this logic, I'm going to I'm going to write a logic for looping it. So I'll write for int I is equal to 0, I less than list dot size. By the way, there are multiple ways of doing it. I could have used for enhanced loop something, but this is simple to understand and maybe in the beginning, so maybe you can continue to use it. Then I will write here test context, which is this, right? Because this is a dependency injection framework, and whatever step page object model I have defined that inside this class, right? So this is what I want to access. So I have written it here. So this is how I'm going to access my page object model class file. Dot, then get common page objects dot, and the method which I have just created is present here. So I will call that method, which is validate element present in header section, right? And I'm going to send the text here. How I will have to loop it, right? So maybe what I'll do is I'll write here list dot get index as I. So every time this will loop it, it will actually, let me remove this line. Every time this will loop, every time this will pass the elements which is present here. So first it will run it for hamburger menu. The same method will call for Amazon link. The same method, which is will be called for accounts and list link, and same method will call for returns and orders, right? Now the problem is in this case would be, this is returning if I go inside this method, this is returning an exception. Why? Because if there is specific element which is not present, if it encounters that, then the execution will throw an exception and it will just fail the test case, which is something which we don't want, right? So in this specific case, we can actually make use of maybe try catch, right? So we can place this inside try catch. But again, it could be a little bit complicated to do right now. I am not sure if that is the right time to explain you try catch scenarios. But yeah, so for now what we can do is, for the sake of simplicity, I can just simply throw this exception like this, and the error will go away, and their code will continue to work. Only situation is if you do something like this, some rubbish you write here. So what will happen? It will run this, and if when it encounters this is the case which we haven't defined anywhere inside our method, right? So it will go here, it will throw the exception, and once the exception is thrown, the test case will fail at this step, right? And it will not do this. So that is the reason I was trying to say that we can implement try-catch situation here, so that even if the exception is thrown, we will catch it, and then the execution will continue to validate these links as well, right? So that can be done by implementing try-catch inside the for loop, right? So that we can do. Maybe I'll try to do that just to tell you how to do it. Maybe then we'll comment it out if you don't get it, or if you don't want to do it with you, that also is fine. So try catch, if exception is thrown, exception E, if let's say this is thrown, then you can simply say maybe scenario.write exception thrown, right? And here you can write the message as e.getMessage or something, and then you can do what? Then you can actually, then you can actually put an assertion, put some logic here, you know, because you don't want to hold off your execution. So you can keep it this way so that it gets reported in your logs, or you can also create a flag here. Then later you can check the flag to pass the test case, pass or fail the test case. So all that logic will, you know, you can write. But right now, as I said, I don't want to get into the complexity of managing this try catch and managing the execution of this. So I will just make it simple. I will just remove it. And if there is some rubbish which is being sent from outside, it will just fail the test case. So you have to correct it before you actually modify. The idea is that if you want to validate something else, some different links, then you have to add that object inside the page object model, and then you have to create a class. You have to create a case for it here. You have to add another case. Here, for example, I want to add validate that whether this is also present, right? So I have to first find it out here. Then I will have to add it here because this is already added. So I will don't have to do it. But if you want to validate it, then I will just copy this. I'll create a case here. I will have to create another case here. I will have to say search text box, right? And then simply search text box. So now my framework or this method is enhanced to validate another case, which is that I can also pass search text box here. So it will now validate search text box is coming there or not. Okay, so basically that's how. Now let me run it as well. You should avoid adding unnecessary spaces and tabs. Your code should look clean, properly indented, right? So let me now run it. Let's see if it runs. Let me also show you the report, how it generates. So temp UI, right click, run JUnit test. So after in real automation project, what you have to do is, once you create the scenario, you have to actually run it to validate whether the scenario which you have created is working fine or not, right? So that is the step which you always have to do. It's not something which you just keep on writing code and you're not even running your test case. And you have to also see how the reports are being generated, right? So that is what I'm trying to do currently. Sorry, open with web browser. Not the logger, maybe the report part is what I'm more interested in. Right, so this test case, let me open this in where it went. Sorry. Yeah, let me open this inside the Chrome browser. Let me do it here. Right, so this is my test case. See, it is saying that it has taken this as an argument. It is validated everything. Header link is displayed. This is being printed everywhere. You see, right? So this is the report. So there is one more thing, important thing which you need to do. So you need to deliberately try to fail the test case, right? So you need to also. So since you have already written a test case and your test case is working fine in positive case as well as negative case, in both the cases you need to understand. We need to run the test case to see whether it is actually catching the defect as well, right? So one way of doing this is, maybe I will try to put some gibberish here, right? For this specific thing, there's nothing written there, right? So my test case is supposed to be failing. So that also I should be validating before I can say my test case automation is complete. So positive as well as negative, your test case should pass, and your test case should also fail if something is not there. So that also you have to test. So it's something double testing you're trying to do. So you're writing a piece of code to test the application. In this case, it's Amazon. So you have written a test case. The test case will actually test the application. But when you write the test case, you yourself have to test your test, right? So you're testing your own test, whether it's working correctly. So it should pass as well as it should fail if something is not working as it's supposed to work. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add some gibberish here, and my test case should now fail, saying that the case is not defined for this, right? So let me try to do this. Run as JUnit test. Let's see what happens. Right, so my test case failing, saying header link description is not present in the case. Please add link description first. That is what I've written. The code which I've written is correctly working. If some user is doing some mistake, it will actually fail. So see, it's failing. It's saying this is not right, and etc. 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 Okay, it's giving so it is validated. It has validated hamburger menu, Amazon menu, but it is not going further. So that is something which I was trying to explain you, that this can be handled using a try catch, wherein it will validate everything whatever it is present, and only for the mistakes which is being done by the user, only that will be highlighted. Other than that, everything should be validated. Right now what's happening is it's only doing till 2, and it is finding error here, it's not going forward, right? So for such situations you can actually use try catch. I'm not telling it right now, but to handle such cases you can use try catch. Yeah, so for next test case, I'm going to record another video. So I'm calling this video off now. Thanks.